My married friend cheated during our girls' trip, and now her husband wants the truth. I told him, and he's planning for a divorce. To give you some background, I've known both of them for years now. She's one of my closest friends, and her husband and I go way back. We were colleagues when we were younger, and now we even work in the same office. It felt like fate or something when they ended up getting married. Honestly, I've never seen her happier before. And it was clear that he was the guy who really swept her off her feet. They've been married for about 3 years now. She's the one bringing in most of the money in their relationship, and every now and then, she vents to me about how he never quite follows through on his promises, especially when it comes to finances. She feels like she's the one carrying the load most of the time. But don't get me wrong, they're both really great people. He works hard. He's just not quite where he wants to be yet. Anyway, fast forward to a few weeks ago, my best friend and I decided to take a girls' trip. There were 3 of us, and we headed down to Nicaragua, hoping for some serious eat, pray, love moments. We ended up in this cute little beach town that had a few bars, cafes, and restaurants scattered around. Our main plan was all about fitness, spa treatments, and just relaxing. But we didn't realize how lively the nightlife was until we got there. So, the first night, we hit up one of the only bars in town, and right off the bat, we got pretty friendly with the bartenders. What really threw me off, though, was how ridiculously good-looking the guys were. My married friend really seemed to hit it off with one of the bartenders, and while the rest of us headed back to the hotel to sleep, she ended up staying out all night. We didn't see her again until noon the next day, which was so unlike her. Turns out she hooked up with the bartender. The very next night, we checked out another bar, and this time she met a local guy and, well, she ended up sleeping with him too. Things kind of spiraled from there. She spent the rest of the week hanging out with the bartender she'd met. The whole time we were on the trip, she pretty much ignored her phone, which ended up with her husband calling and texting both me and our other friend nonstop because he couldn't reach her. On top of that, she turned off her location tracking, so we had no clue that she hadn't been at the Airbnb for 5 days straight. And to top it off, she decided to extend her stay by 2 more days just to spend more time with that bartender. Meanwhile, I was stuck dealing with flight delays, and by the time I got back, I was beyond exhausted. I haven't even had a chance to fully process everything that happened or wrap my head around why she cheated. It's just so out of character for her, and I'm still in shock over it. Now that I'm back home in the States, she's still in Nicaragua. To make matters worse, I have to head into work tomorrow, and her husband is my coworker. I'm completely at a loss here. I don't know how I'm supposed to handle this or if I should even try to cover for her. I'm really torn about what the right thing to do is. Update. So, today at work, her husband, who's also my buddy, pulled me aside and straight up asked if she had been with another guy. I couldn't lie to him, so I just said yes. He didn't want to know any details and specifically asked me not to give him any, just a simple yes or no. It was clear he's hurting, but he's waiting for her to come back to the States before deciding the next steps for their marriage, which sounds like it's heading toward divorce. He was surprisingly understanding about why I didn't answer his calls while I was on vacation, which was a bit of a relief. I really appreciate all the advice I've gotten from people about this situation. Just to clarify, I never had any intention of covering for anyone. I've never been in a position like this before where I'm stuck in the middle of something that's going to impact people's lives in such a huge way, especially 2 people I care about. But I'm grateful for the support. It definitely helped calm my nerves today. And yeah, I've cut ties with her. She's no longer a friend of mine.